Man, the luxury SUV segment is hot for 2024. I recently had the chance to review the 2024 X5/X6, and I have a competitor that will give that vehicle a run for its money. Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. In this review, I have this 2024 Mercedes GLE53 AMG, and I'm going to show you all of its different features, take it on a drive, and give you guys my final verdict and see if it deserves the AMG badge on the key fob. But let's go ahead and get into this review. On the outside of the 2024 Mercedes GLE53 AMG, this is your key fob right here. You do have lock, unlock, a trunk release, and a panic button with AMG inscripted on the bottom of the key fob. Now, as equipped, this vehicle is about $97,710. It is dressed in a polar white exterior with a macchiato beige two-tone interior. The GLE did receive a facelift for the 2024 model year, so you do have revised headlights. As this is the E-Class of SUVs, you do have two strips right here. So you got two at the bottom, two at the top, and then you do have a strip right there for your LED daytime running light, as well as your turn signals. This is a AMG Lite version, so you do have the AMG grille with vertical slats, surround view camera right there, and you do have a more sporty AMG front diffuser, making this look angular and aggressive. You get a 3/4 view for you guys right there. Boom. This version right here has 22-inch forged cross wheels, wrapped in 285 width tires in the front with 325s in the rear. You do have Turbo 4MATIC Plus badging right there, power folding mirrors with blind spot information, and surround view camera right there on the side. Keyless entry is for all 4 door handles. Roof racks right there, which are aluminum. I will show you guys the sunroof once we hit the cockpit or the interior of the GLE. Coming around to the rear of the GLE, gone is more the square design where you had like 2 different squares inside of the taillights. You just have these 2 strips right here at the top with amber turn signals, and then your LED reverse light is right here. GLE53 badging right there and AMG badging on that side. Standard for the all AMG GLE versions is a AMG Performance exhaust. This version right here has a oval setup, quad exhaust setup, and if you go for the 63 version, it'll have a more squared off version for the exhaust tip finish with a AMG Sport rear diffuser. Show you guys the trunk space. You will find 33.3 cubic feet of space. If you go for the coupe, which I have to say aesthetically looks a little bit more pleasing and stands out on the crowd more, you'll get 27.5 cubic feet of space, which I have to say is actually impressive despite the sloping more roof design, which I have to say is not a bad trade-off. But looking back here, the seats do fold down in a 40-20 fashion. You got tie downs right there for your cargo with illumination. Little spot right there for your front bracket or more storage. AMG floor mats. A little more storage down below, and it actually does have a temporary spare tire. Just something that's not really common in the luxury segment. Tailgate is powered. You push this button right here to lock the doors and then close the tailgate right there. Also standard is the kick sensor under the trunk, so basically you just kick behind and the trunk will open up automatically. Let me show you guys under the hood. Hood releases right here. Now the GLE is available in 6 different powertrains. So you have the 350 with a 4-cylinder, you have a 450 which has an inline 6, and new for 24 is a 450e, which is basically a plug-in hybrid. You also have the 580 and then this 53 AMG. And at the top of the whole range is the 63 with over 600 horsepower. You also have the AMG logo right there on the hood. But looking under the hood of this 53, This has the 3-liter inline-6 turbo connected with a 48-volt mild hybrid system with the electric supercharger. Makes 429 horsepower with 413 pound-foot of torque. You'll get 18 in the city, 23 on the highway, and 20 combined. Vehicle weighs about 5,200 pounds. Transmission is a 9-speed automatic across the board. See a little bit more of the straight 6. Mercedes logos over here with AMG over here on this side. See a little bit of the carbon fiber reinforced structure right there. Now let me show you guys the interior. Get another 3/4 view for you guys. Boom. We're gonna start out in the back seats. I have the seat mostly back, a little bit further back than my 5'6" frame would suggest, but I have literally about 7 to 8 inches of legroom. As far as headroom goes, I literally have about maybe 3 inches of headroom. It's pretty good. Back here, you can see a little bit of the ambient lighting right there. I do have it set to red. You see a little bit of this wood trim. All the materials right here are soft touch. And shockingly, at nearly $100,000, I was expecting this to be soft touch down here. But also available back here, this thing is basically very sparse with amenities. So no heated back seats, no 3 or 4 zone climate control back here. But you do have 2 USB-C ports, 2 mat pockets. Now all that stuff is optional if you do select that package for the climate control and the heated back seats. And also too, shockingly, no manual sunshades. Check out the center console right here. We have 2 cup holders. Here's a quick look to the cockpit. And this one does also have the panorama sunroof or glass roof up top, which I will show you guys once we head up front. You can see a little bit of this macchiato beige 2-tone black right there. A little bit of suede right there around the outside area, or the border around it. Looks so nice. But let's hit the cockpit where all of the action happens in the GLE53. Looking at door panels over here, you do have 3-person memory with all your seat controls right here. 3-stage heated and cooled front seats. You can also control the passenger seat right there with your window controls and power folding mirror functions right there. Macchiato beige 2-tone interior. Soft right here, and then hard plastics down below. Your light controls are over here on this side for your fog lights or your parking lights in the back, cluster illumination, your parking brake right there. And you do have a power tilt and telescoping steering column with the heated steering wheel functions right there. See, it's on and then it's off. Let me show you guys the seats real quick. You can see AMG is inscripted right there in the suede portion, the macchiato beige 2-tone interior. Stepping height is pretty good. But looking in front of you, you do have this 3-spoke AMG specified steering wheel right here. Let me move the seat back so you guys can get the full view of the steering wheel. It is a 3-spoke design with AMG scripted at the bottom. You have all your different various controls, metal paddle shifters. It is perforated and heated, as I stated before. So over here on this side is how you control your 12-inch cluster right here in front of you by using these buttons right here. Right now I have it set up to Super Sport. You can basically toggle through all your various different information in different menus. Media functions, you see you have your navigation functions right there. All that can be configured and changed. And you hit the home button right there, you can basically change it to a sport view. You also have a classic view and a understated view. So let's try the sport for a second. So you have all your various different information over here for your drive settings as well as vehicle temperature on the left. But I like the Super Sport. So you can put up your temperature right there and all your different settings. Very configurable, and I like the way everything is customized. You can also pull up your navigation right here in your line of sight, which looks so cool. But we'll go ahead and leave it up like that. Down here is your cruise control functions. I highly recommend getting driver assist pack for $2,000. It's totally worth it. And then over here on this side of the steering wheel is how you control your MBUX infotainment. So you got your home page, your back button, your volume, your telematics. And even further down on the steering wheel is how you control your various different drive modes. So you have your suspension right here. So sport suspension, sport plus for the suspension, and then comfort. And then your exhaust button right here. So on, off, you can hear a little bit more of the idling going. And then your drive modes over here. So you got comfort, a sport, Sport Plus, and then you also have an individual and a slippery / snow mode. Now the individual mode is customizable, so you can basically change everything. This is basically how I have it set up, so of course it went away, but here we go. Go back in individual. So I have the dynamic set to dynamic, suspension and comfort, and then your AMG dynamics in pro mode. But look a little bit more at this MBUX. Let me show you guys the screen. It does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. So let me try a quick audio test with the 13 speaker Burmester sound system.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.
As you can see, the 13 speaker Burmester sound system has a lot of bass and sound quality. They do also have a 3D sound system available if you're definitely more of an audiophile. But look a little bit more at this infotainment. You have your navigation functions right there. So I'm going to try a quick navigation test. As you can see right there, navigation picks up with no problem at all. And I have to say, the graphics have definitely been improved for this facelifted GLE. Response is definitely quicker, and I just like the way the screen layout is definitely more sportier oriented, especially for these AMG versions. But the graphics and response is just so much more improved, as well as the resolution. Radio function right there, AM, FM, 6XM radio. Your media connections for your phones, and so on for the CarPlay and Android Auto. Your apps. Looking under your comfort mode right there, or your comfort settings, you basically have the Pinnacle package. So this does incorporate the massage. So you have massage sheets for both the driver and front passenger. So let's go ahead and activate that. You can change the intensity right there. But you got classic, you got wave, hot, relax, and then mobilization, activation, workout, backrest, and cushion right there. Also, you got seat kinetics, so you don't get fatigued on a long trip. Lumbar controls are right here. You can change the lumbar right there using this toggle. Side bolstering, as well as the heated seat, so you can change where it's at the bottom of the cushion or at the back portion of the cushion right there, and you can change all that. You also do have ambient lighting with 64 various different colors. I don't know if you guys can see it at the daytime right now, but let's see. Let's go blue for a second, so you guys can see that. So you can see a smidge of blue. And you also have the Hey Mercedes function, so let me try that out, see if it changed to red. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Change ambient lighting to red.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
So you can see right there, change to red. Let me try it one more time. Hey Mercedes. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Change ambient lighting to purple.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
As you can see right there, the function does work pretty well with the voice recognition, and it will actually change the ambient lighting colors, which is so cool. But going back right here into your main display, comfort settings, you also have a off-road page right there, the different breakover angles and so on. Your performance page right there, so you have your consumption, the IWC clock for all AMG models, engine right there, so show you the horsepower as well as pound-foot torque, and then your vehicle settings right there. For the individual drive modes, show you basically when you do change the different drive modes. Going back over here into your vehicle settings, your driving settings right there. Collision avoidance, all driver assist right there for the attention assist. Camera settings, parking, the vehicle settings right there. Let me show you guys a little bit more of the individual drive mode. We go into dynamic select. I can basically configure this individual drive mode right here. So I have everything in dynamic, transmission in auto, dynamics in pro, suspension is in comfort so it doesn't get too jarring, and the exhaust is in a powerful. Let's leave it in powerful mode because that's fun. Light settings right there for the headlights. You can turn on daytime running lights, ambient lighting functions right there, as well as system information, so on. You pull that down right there to get up a couple of preset shortcut buttons, which you can configure. and then your Apple CarPlay again right there. But looking further down, you do have your climate controls with physical buttons right here. And then we do use the climate controls. You can also pull it up in the infotainment as well. So if I hit the climate control right there, so look, you just change the temperature or air vent and then push right there in the screen, and it'll show you all your information for your flow right there, as well as the temperature. Looking further down, you do have a little bit of this lovely wood trim right here with a wireless phone charging pad. So let's try that out real quick. Yeah. Boom, there we go. Phone's charging up, no problem at all. You have 2 USB-C ports right there for connectivity into the infotainment. 2 cup holders for a pretty good size. It does have a little bit of ambient lighting. And then your drive mode selection is also right here around the center console. So basically, you can change the drive modes right here. Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus. And then you do have a 360 camera right there, as you guys can see. You can also put up a automatic parking mode right there. So basically, it'll search for a parking space. That is standard in the GLE53. And also this 360 view right here. So basically, look around the vehicle, left, right, side to side, and search for a parking space right there. Vehicle settings are right here, and a preset favorite button. Now over here on this side is for your volume controls, as well as your navigation/map, your radio media functions, and telephone. It does have a touchpad right here with a back button if you do make a mistake, track forward and back, and a home button right there. So let me try out the touch capability. You see right there, you just toggle over, use it as a mouse pad, and you do have a little spot right here to rest your arm when you're using that. This does also have the Airmatic AMG suspension, so let me try that out real quick. You can also raise and lower the vehicle right here. So it'll show you right here inside the display that the vehicle is rising. Let's see if it'll come back up. You see right there, it'll show that it's rising. But it will definitely help the ride be a little bit more improved and less jarring. Center console right here with another USB-C port, plenty of storage. And then when you look up top, we do have a panoramic sunroof with your telematic information, SOS functions, and Mercedes connected media. You can see the panoramic sunroof up top. It does let in a lot of light inside of the cabin. And it does slide and tilt all the way open, but it is kind of hot out there, so I'll leave that closed with a auto-dimming rear mirror right there. And who could forget the headlamp display right here in your line of sight with your speed. But I'm going to talk a little bit more once we hit the road about the headlamp display. But let's hit the road in this 2024 Mercedes GLE. Alright, I'm going to demonstrate the automatic parking function. Hit the park button right there. It's going to search for a parking space. It's found a spot. I'm going to actually select that one right there. There we go. So we're going to park. Push the park button to start. It's going to take over the brake and the gas. It's acknowledging the parking space. It's using the turn signal. Let's see if it works. Right now it's going into drive. I'm not touching the gas, brake pedal, or the steering wheel. It's taking care of all that. I have to say, this is a solid system. Right now it's mopping up, so it like parks right between the lines, but it's definitely a tight parking area. Still doing a good job though, I'll give it credit. There we go, that's good enough. But you can see right there, it did park somewhat between the lines. I know parking's a little tight, but you see right there, it does also shut down the vehicle. Well, let's go ahead and hit the road now in the GLE53. The parking function was a success. We are behind the wheel of the 2024 Mercedes GLE53 AMG. Now right now we're in this default comfort mode. 9-speed automatic shifts just fine. Now speaking of visibility out the front, rear, and sides, I can see very good over the hood, as well as out the side mirrors and even out the back. Now keep in mind when you do go for the coupe version, that will reduce the C-pillar just a little bit, so there's a smidge obstructed, but this regular SUV version is just fine. I can also see very good out this mirror right here. Now the GLE is available in 6 different powertrain options. Now the first is the 350, which is carryover, as well as the 450 from the pre-facelift versions. But new is the 450e, which is a plug-in hybrid version. You see right here sitting at the light, the auto start stop works just fine with the mild hybrid 48-volt EQ boost system, which is an electric supercharger on the engine. Auto start stop is just fine. But going back to specs, you also do have a 580 with a V8. And then you have this 53 AMG, followed by the top of the line 63 with over 600 horsepower. This is at the topper end of the lineup. Now ride, these do have 22-inch multi-spoke forged wheels, and I have to say ride is actually pretty good thanks to the airmatic suspension, which you can actually raise right here inside of the center console. And this thing has about 413 pound-foot of torque, and you basically keep up with traffic with no problem. Now I like to, this is a AMG Lite, but you do have all of the AMG stuff and goodies. So you got the AMG exterior as well as the interior. And one thing I do like is this AMG Performance steering wheel. So right here I have my exhaust button with my suspension, as well as my drive modes over here on this side with the AMG drive unit. So you can change over between Sport, Sport Plus, and then you do have an individual and a slippery or wet mode. Now I want to speak about seat comfort for a second. So these do have the, this is a macchiato beige interior with Nappa leather seats. You have 3-stage heated and cooled front seats. And if I go into the infotainment, here we go. So if I go into the infotainment, we'll show you guys the comfort settings right there. This does actually have the massage function with the Pinnacle package, so you can have a classic massage right there, which I have to say really does improve the seat comfort. So right there you have the massage going, and you have all the various different modes you can change for the massage. So you have a wave mode, hot relax, shoulder, you got mobilization, activation, workout for the back, and the cushion, like I talked about in the Walkaround. And you also do have the seat kinetics, so you don't get too fatigued on a long road trip. Your lumbar controls, your bolstering, and your heat balance right there. Also in front of you too, speaking of visibility, you do have a head-up display right here in my line of sight. So you do have the speed limit, so it'll tell you your vehicle speed and other information which you can't configure. But I'll be back in a second once the light turns. All right, let's go. Now I'm going to switch the drive modes into Sport. So Sport is a middle ground between Comfort and Sport Plus. So you basically have a little bit more of a dynamic drive, but the exhaust is closed. And it's still a middle ground between the suspension. You can definitely feel it get a little bit more rough. And when you speak a little bit more about drive modes, actually when you go into individual mode, which is all the way around on the other side, I have everything set up for dynamic, and then Comfort for the suspension and Pro for the AMG dynamics. So this is a nice middle ground. You also have your performance display right here, vehicle, as well as engine right there. So it'll show you the pound-foot torque and horsepower rating right there. And I have the exhaust valve open, of course. It's just inline 6. And the burr was just crazy. Now I am getting a lot of 43 AMG previous generation with the V6 bi-turbo. I'm getting those type of vibes when driving this. The kind of like raw, kind of messy, kind of amazing tone that you just get out of it. Just so fun. And the upshift does the boom. Sounds so good. You know what? I'm gonna have to show you guys how it sounds from the outside right now. But let's go and try a quick acceleration up here. We're in Sport Plus. Mercedes says 4.9 seconds 0 to 60. So let's try it out. Wow. Acceleration for a 5,200-pound vehicle is just crazy. That's about 429 horsepower and 413 pound-foot torque with this mild hybrid inline six. And this thing just really takes off. Now, I've seen Car and Driver actually get a 4.4 0 to 60, which actually is pretty close with the 580 and the 63. I believe is about 3.7, but I have seen 3.5 with the 63 version 0 to 60. But this thing, definitely more than enough punch, and I just like the whole character of this. Just, you can feel everything, the shifts, so aggressive. Now, my personal preference though, if I'm driving this vehicle in a more sporty manner, as I stated before, I'll probably go into the individual mode so you can have a little bit more of the comfort suspension so it's not too jarring over rough imperfections, and you can basically have everything else in the Sport Plus mode. But we'll just leave it in Sport Plus for now. You can also change between manual and auto right there. So we'll go into manual for a sec. And the shifts of this 9-speed auto is just crazy. Definitely near dual clutch levels of shifting. And the acceleration. Now let me speak a little bit more about ride comfort as we drive on the highway. We go into comfort mode for a second. Let the dampers smooth out the suspension with the airmatic suspension. And I have to say, driving on the highway at just under 65 so miles an hour, the cabin is very quiet and hushed. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, if you are getting this GLE53, I highly recommend getting the driver assist package for $1,950. It'll really improve the whole dynamics of this vehicle, especially, let's say, if you're stuck in traffic or just daily drive this vehicle. The adaptive cruise control will really help. But that's really all I have to say about that part. But let's go back into Sport Plus. And yes, this is a real manual mode. It will allow you to bang off that rev limiter. And the burbles. You can definitely feel a little bit of the weight. This is no light vehicle. It's about 5,200 pounds. You can feel it at a little bit higher speeds. But man, this thing's just... The inline six has so much character. Handling too isn't bad either for a vehicle of this size. The burrow. This inline six definitely does have a lot of character. And what I do like too is that you don't forget that this is a AMG, even driving in comfort mode. So let me show you guys in comfort real quick. You can definitely hear a little bit of the exhaust, which I do like. You see right there, the mild hybrid 48 volt system works just fine. The auto start stop is just seamless. Now when you are just driving around the city, this is rated to get about 18 miles to the gallon. and 23 on the highway, and then about 20 combined. Right now we're about 6th gear at just under 50 miles an hour. You can definitely hear the exhaust on throttle a bit. What I also do like about the Mercedes is the Hey Mercedes function. So if I try, Hey Mercedes,
How can I help?
change ambient lighting to blue.
Okay, I'm changing the color.
So I don't know if you guys can see it, but like right here, you can see the ambient lighting does change colors, and the function is pretty good. And there's an E53 right there. So literally the car version of this vehicle, that blue one right there, E53 coupe, and we have the GLE53 SUV. Now the GLE is also available in 2 body styles. So you got this conventional SUV, and you do also have the coupe styling, which I have to say looks aesthetically more pleasing. And I have to say also too, you don't lose that much cargo capacity versus this standard version. So it's about 33.3 and then 27.5 cubic feet if you do go for the coupe version. Let's go. Oh, that pop on the usher. Wow, oh my goodness. And you do get a little bit nervous because you don't know if it'll handle that good, but I have to say I'm honestly impressed. It definitely does handle. The upshifts. This is such a comical experience. Now, AMG performance exhaust, it does come standard with all of the AMG versions of the GLE. I have to say, it does add so much character though. Steering does feel pretty direct. Could use just a smidge more weight, but I have to say it is pretty good. And it does have pretty good turning. And with all AMG models, you do get this IWC clock right there with a stopwatch. But as we get a little bit closer to the dealership, I'm going to get into the conclusion of what I think about this GLE53 as we got a lot of traffic in front of us. So overall, I have to say I do like the package of this vehicle, and as stated before, I highly recommend getting the driver assist package to get the full suite of driver assist technology, which will really round out the entire package, in addition to as heated rear seats and the maybe 3 or 4 zone climate control that is available on this vehicle. But other than that, this thing really does check all of the boxes. That sound though, the inline 6, so much character, the punch, the feel. You can feel every shift. It's like drawing. It's like, oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's very sporty and engaging. But that's all I really have to say about this GLE. This is Chris signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.